Satisfactory is a beautiful game which you might not know anything about, so I'll tell you about it for 3 minutes. This is a factory building game set in a lush 3D alien environment with an emphasis on exploration. It's been in early access since first being released in 2019, and later this year it'll get a full release, so if you haven't heard of it yet, you might hear of it soon. It's often compared to Factorio, and for good reason, but it's really like a better looking, less intense cousin of that game. Similar to Factorio, you begin the game as a lone explorer on a desolate planet, collecting resources to build your first machine components, which eventually grow into a sprawling factory producing complex items. What's immediately striking about Satisfactory is how beautiful the game and its environment is. Traveling through dense jungles to empty beaches to the top of mountain peaks, you'll be amazed at the geography and diversity in this game and how enjoyable it is just to navigate. This is a multiplayer game and it excels when being played with other people, so if you have the opportunity, I highly recommend you experience this with a friend or two. At later stages, the game will challenge you, but it's not nearly as unforgiving or as intense as Factorio. It's more of a Zen-like experience constructing machines in what looks like a highly saturated alien utopia. Satisfactory might be the best place for new people to the factory genre to get their feet wet. It doesn't really penalize you for mistakes too much, and because the game is set in a 3D world, you can build your factory vertically, which means you can just move up and have basically unlimited expansion. The world is also just a lot more pleasant to be in and doesn't have this oppressive environment which Factorio is kind of famous for. I had a lot of fun building absurd architecture and geometry in Satisfactory, like a train which had a floating track which went into the sky over a mountain. It looked amazing and it was fun to build. Another piece of fantastical architecture was a narrow 300-story tall building, which existed for no other reason than I just wanted to build it and see how high I could go. From the top of that building, I could jump off and reach almost any point of the map, which is very large, 47 square kilometers to be exact. One remarkable feature of this game's map is that it's entirely created by hand, so there's no procedural generation here at all. This attention to geographic detail might seem unessential, but the environmental beauty of the game is a striking aspect of the overall experience. The map is inhabited with creatures, some of them are hostile, and you can craft weapons to fight them, but much of that is optional. Unlike in Factorio, the enemies won't attack you, and you'll probably only need to engage them on your conquest of territorial expansion. For this reason, Satisfactory feels significantly easier and more relaxing than Factorio. You aren't surrounded by hostile aliens which are constantly attacking you. Instead, you'll probably be enjoying picturesque scenes like sunsets over your factory or rays of light cutting through the jungle. Much more chill. The original score of the game has to be mentioned as well. It's over 40 tracks which are originally composed by a producer named Sleeper's Delight. It's a spacey, abstract collection of synthwave tunes which complement the fantastical scenery of the game perfectly. The satisfaction of achieving victory in Satisfactory probably wasn't as great as it was in Factorio, but the journey to the end was something great that I'll remember.